Have you thought about what you're getting your mom for Mother's Day? At Cozy Earth, they have a full line of apparel, PJs, shirts, socks, you name it, they have it. And if you buy any of their bedding, they have a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, free shipping on orders over $50 or more. And our listeners get an exclusive discount of 21% off just by using our code INFOGO at checkout. And you can do that at cozyearth.com. Find the link and the code in the show notes. If you're laying mulch, bedding animals, covering seeds, or just want your property looking right, there's one name you need to know. Irwin Farms, Middle Georgia's #1 wheat straw provider. When it comes to quality wheat straw, it matters. Clean, consistent, and ready to work because they don't cut corners, they bale it. Whether you're a homeowner, gardener, farmer, or you're just getting your hands dirty for the first time, they've got you covered. You can find a link in the show notes. Just Google Middle Georgia's #1 wheat straw provider. Either way, you'll find Irwin Farms. Welcome to the podcast. I'm William.
And I'm Kat.
And that makes this Info on the Go.
Little things you want to know.
Absolutely. And this one came over on Facebook. Brazil nuts. Did you know that a single Brazil nut contains enough selenium to meet your entire daily requirement? Well, selenium is a powerful mineral that helps keep your thyroid functioning properly, supports your immune system, and even protects your cells from damage. Just one nut can do what many people rely on multivitamins for.
But Brazil nuts are more than just a nutritional powerhouse. They're a gateway into a much bigger story, one that spans the Amazon rainforest, centuries of human interaction, global trade networks, and even modern health trends. These nuts connect people, wildlife, and ecosystems in ways that few other foods really do.
So think about it. They grow in massive pods in the rainforest, often out of reach, and rely on both humans and animals to survive and spread. They've been part of local traditions for generations, traveled across continents, and now end up in kitchens and, well, on the snack aisle at Kroger around the world. I don't know if Kroger's around the world. Maybe I need to pick another grocery. What do you think?
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
I have heard of Brazil nuts probably in the movie Rio, okay? But that's as far as I go with Brazil nuts.
It's not a favorite snack of mine, for sure.
I like
But
nuts, but I'm really just bad about eating good foods. So,
lemon water,
cucumber water.
Coke, Pepsi, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you on that one. But you can find them around the world on the snack aisle, whatever grocery chain you prefer.
In this episode, we'll explore the history of Brazil nuts, how they grow and are harvested, their importance to local economies and cultures, and of course, their benefits and potential risks. But by the end, you'll see why this small but humble nut deserves a closer look. So let's start at the very beginning, deep in the Amazon rainforest, and discover the story behind the Brazil nut.
Wow, you sold me. I'm ready. Let's do it. Oh, it's my turn. Okay, got it. Brazil nuts are native to the vast Amazon rainforest, one of the most biodiverse places on Earth. The trees themselves are giants, capable of living for more than 500 years and reaching heights over 50 meters. Wow,
That's insane.
500 years? Hmm.
Yeah.
Their sheer size and longevity make them a remarkable part of the rainforest ecosystem, but they are surprisingly dependent on both animals and people to reproduce.
For centuries, indigenous peoples have relied on Brazil nuts for food, medicine, and cultural practices. The nuts were more than just a source of nutrition. They were woven into daily life, ceremonies, and traditional remedies. The oil from the nuts and the rich pulp inside the pods were used in cooking and healing long before the wider world even knew they existed.
European explorers first encountered Brazil nuts in the 16th century. Fascinated by the size of the trees and the abundance of the nuts, they began, well, trading them, and over time, The Brazil nut became a commodity in global markets. Despite this early trade, though, the Brazil nut, well, it remained largely tied to their rainforest roots, dependent on both the environment and local knowledge for their continued survival.
There are also myths and stories surrounding Brazil nuts. One tells of giant pods as gifts from the forest spirits meant to provide for humans while also teaching respect for nature. Another local tale describes how small rainforest rodents called agoutis are the forest's secret planters, burying nuts that grow into new trees, making the forest itself a partner in sustaining these incredible trees.
Agoutis sound like a future episode.
Yes.
Yeah. From their deep roots in indigenous culture to their introduction to the wider world, Brazil nuts carry a story that's both ancient and ongoing, a story of nature, people, and the delicate balance that keeps the rainforest thriving. Brazil nuts grow in enormous pods that can weigh up to 3 kilograms each, hanging from towering rainforest trees. Inside each pod are dozens of nuts, tightly packed like a natural puzzle, if you will. And despite their size, reaching these nuts, well, it really isn't easy. The trees can be over 50 meters tall, and the pods are extremely tough, making them accessible only to a few rainforest inhabitants, which include, well, humans.
Humans collect Brazil nuts by hand, walking through the forest floor to gather the fallen pods. This is not a quick or simple task. It requires careful timing, knowledge of the forest, and respect for the trees. In addition to people, certain animals play a vital role in the life of the Brazil nuts. And the little natural planters that we talked about earlier, the agoutis, they bury nuts in soil for later consumption. And the ones they forget or don't retrieve grow into new trees. Without these forest partners, Brazil nut trees would struggle to reproduce.
Doesn't the squirrel do something similar with the acorn?
Yes, rodents, they
Rodents?
are important.
The Brazil nut tree is also a keystone species in the rainforest. It contributes to biodiversity. It provides food for a variety of animals and supports the complex ecological balance of its environment. Harvesting Brazil nuts, well, sustainably it can even help conserve the rainforest. When local communities depend on the nuts for income, it creates an incentive to protect the forest rather than clear it out for logging, agricultural, or I don't know, commercial use.
Mm.
So keep buying those Brazil nuts. Save the Brazil nuts along with the bees.
Yes, the bees and rodents are important. Many harvesters and ecologists describe the experience as more than just work. It's a relationship with the forest. One harvester explained that collecting nuts is like reading the forest's calendar. You learn to recognize which pods are ready to fall, which areas are safe to enter, and how to move through the forest without disturbing its delicate balance. For them, harvesting Brazil nuts is a way to sustain both their communities and the forest itself.
And Kat, I say before we really get into the economic and cultural significance of the Brazil nuts, I think we should take a small break.
If you say so.
Lemon water.
Cucumber water.
We'll be right back.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Meet Savoristo. They have premium craft decaf and half calf coffee with bold, rich flavor. Made from high altitude, hand picked Arabica beans and naturally decaffeinated with water or sugarcane processes, and there's no harsh chemicals.
But if you think chocolate, caramel, citrus, even bourbon pecan and mint and mocha, it's small batch roasted, literally so good, customers call it the best decaf they've ever tried.
Better sleep, less anxiety, all the flavor. Use our code INFOGO to get 25% off at checkout at savorista.com. You can also find that link in the show notes. Hey, William, do you love craft beer?
Yes, I do.
If you're looking for the perfect gift for a beer lover or just want to show off your brewery pride, the Harpoon Shop has something you won't find anywhere else.
And here's something special just for our listeners. You can save 25% off just by using our code INFOGO at checkout. You can find that link in the show notes. So now that we're back, Brazil nuts aren't just important in the forest. They're a significant part of the global economy. The main exporters are Brazil, Bolivia, and Peru, where these Brazil nuts have become both a source of income and a connection to, well, traditional ways of life. Despite being traded worldwide, most Brazil nuts, well, they still come from small scale collectors who know the forest intimately and harvest the nuts by hand.
For these communities, Brazil nuts are more than a commodity. They are a lifeline. Harvesting the nuts provides money for food, education, and healthcare, all while incentivizing the preservation of the forest. Ethical trade practices and certification programs have started to highlight sustainable methods, ensuring that buyers respect both the environment and the people who rely on it.
Brazil nuts are also deeply woven into cultural traditions. And some local cuisines, well, they appear in everything from roasted snacks to, well, desserts and savory dishes. Indigenous and local communities have used Brazil nuts in rituals, medicine, and folklore for generations, viewing the trees as a sacred partner in their life. You can find them everywhere, from the forest spirits rewarding care and respect for the trees, reinforcing the idea that the nuts are a gift from nature. And that is the beauty of Brazil nuts.
I was listening and kind of in my own little world over here.
I got you hooked on the Brazil nut just by my
You did. Well, no, and I'm loving the trees. The, save the trees.
I mean, because
All
Save
right.
the Rainforest should be a battle cry too.
Absolutely. There's so many people and animals that rely on the rainforest.
Okay.
Anyway,
Episode.
yes, I'm obsessed. Anyway, compared to other rainforest commodities like rubber, cacao, or timber, Brazil nuts are unique because they must remain part of the standing forest to exist. Unlike timber or cleared land for crops, the nut cannot survive outside the forest ecosystem. This makes it both ecologically valuable and economically significant, a product that encourages conservation while providing real livelihoods. By understanding the economic and cultural significance of Brazil nuts, it becomes clear that these nuts are not just a snack. They are a bridge between people, culture, and the rainforest itself.
So now let's get into those health risks and benefits of the Brazil nuts. Because this was the original post on Facebook, okay?
Okie doke.
So Brazil nuts are a nutritional powerhouse packed with vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats. But the most striking benefit comes from selenium. And this is a mineral essential for thyroid function, immune health, and protecting cells from oxidative damage. Just one Brazil nut can give you your entire daily regimen of selenium, which makes them one of the most potent natural sources of this mineral.
Beyond selenium, Brazil nuts are rich in protein, healthy unsaturated fats, magnesium, and vitamin E. Research shows they can support heart health, improve antioxidant status in the body, and may even help regulate mood. Including a small handful of Brazil nuts in your diet a few times a week can provide a convenient and natural way to boost your overall nutrition.
However, like many superfoods, they come with a potential risk. And so just beware. Because Brazil nuts are so high in selenium, eating too many at once can lead to, well, selenium toxicity. Symptoms include nausea, fatigue, hair loss, and in severe cases, more serious health problems. For most people, though, limiting intake to 1 to 3 nuts per day, well, it's safe and more than enough to gain the benefits.
Allergies are another consideration. While relatively rare, some people can have reactions ranging from mild itching to swelling to severe anaphylaxis. So it's also important to source Brazil nuts carefully. Unsanitary harvesting or storage conditions can lead to contamination with mold or toxins. So, in short, Brazil nuts are a tiny but mighty food. They offer remarkable health benefits when eaten in moderation, but too much can be harmful. Knowing how to enjoy them safely allows you to take full advantage of their nutritional power without the risks.
But there's going to be challenges and controversies around the Brazil nut because they are a valuable food and economic resource. Their production is not without challenges, though. One major issue is labor and fairness. Many collectors work long hours and in remote areas, often with limited access to health care, education, and even fair wages. Ensuring ethical trade and proper compensation, well, it really is an ongoing concern for both local communities and international buyers. So think about that the next time you pick up that little pack of Brazil nuts.
Environmental challenges are also significant. The Brazil nut tree depends on intact rainforest ecosystems, so deforestation, mining, and agricultural expansion pose serious threats. If forests are cleared, the trees cannot survive or reproduce, and local communities lose both income and a critical food source. Climate change adds another layer of uncertainty, potentially affecting rainfall patterns and forest health in ways that could impact nut production for decades to come.
Global demand for Brazil nuts continues to rise, but the supply is tied to the natural limits of the forest. Overharvesting is a potential risk, but sustainable practices, certification programs, and support for small scale collectors, well, it really does help protect both the trees and the people who depend on them. So the next time you pick up that little pack of Brazil nuts, think about that.
There are also innovative solutions emerging. Agroforestry programs where Brazil nuts are grown alongside other crops in ways that preserves the forest canopy. And this offers hope for balancing economic growth with conservation. NGOs and researchers work closely with local harvesters to promote sustainable collection methods, ensuring that Brazil nuts remain a renewable resource rather than a commodity that depletes the environment. Ultimately, the story of Brazil nuts is one of balance. Their continued availability depends on careful management, the respect for the forest, and fair treatment of the people who make this remarkable nut accessible to the world.
And let's do some fun facts and pop cultures because that's what Kat and I love to do here on the show. Here we go. It's not going to be a top 10, though. It's just going to be fun facts, okay? So I guess after every one, you can go factoid. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. So Brazil nuts have a way of surprising us beyond nutritional power or economic importance. For example, they show up in a variety of culinary traditions, from roasted snack mixes and nut butters to desserts like Brazilian cookies and cakes. In some Amazonian communities, Brazil nuts are incorporated into stews, sauces, and even festive dishes during holidays and ceremonies, highlighting their cultural significance.
They've also made appearances in popular culture, in books, travel stories, and even documentaries about the Amazon. Brazil nuts are often used to illustrate the wonder and richness of the rainforest. People are fascinated not just by the nut itself, but by the stories behind it, the massive trees, the giant pods, and the animals that help plant new trees.
And here's a little fun fact that agoutis that Kat was talking about is considered to be the secret gardener of the rainforest because these little creatures bury Brazil nuts to eat them later. And the nuts they forget about grow into trees. And well, without many of these nuts being lost, the Brazil nut trees, they just really wouldn't survive. So every time the listener, snack on a Brazil nut, make sure you give thanks to the agoutis because a little teamwork goes a long way.
Rodents are important. Brazil nuts even make for some amazing record breaking trivia. Giant pods can weigh more than 3 kilograms, and some individual trees have been producing nuts for hundreds of years, longer than most of us have been alive. It's a reminder that this humble nut is deeply connected to nature, culture, and history all at once.
Kat, I'm sorry. I want to make sure that I save the Brazil nuts and the trees. I love the bees. I'm just not a fan of rodents or reptiles.
They are necessary in the circle of life.
I would
You
agree
don't
with.
have to like them
I
in
tell
your
you what,
house.
how about this? How about this? As long as I don't see them, I'm happy with them doing what they do.
That's fair.
Now, as far as the bees, they can just fly around, do their thing. I'll make sure I let some dandelions slide in my garden, yard, whatever.
And you can
Um,
make some dandelion tea.
yeah, yeah, and I guess I'll let the agoutis. If I was in the rainforest, I would love them. I would. I'm not there, and I don't have to deal with them. So yeah, I love them too, as
Fair
long
enough.
as they stay over there and wherever they're at.
Brazil.
Anyway, if you would like to support this podcast, tell a friend and help get the word out.
If you would like to help us keep the show going, you can do so at Patreon. The link is in the show notes.
Kat and I want to thank you for listening.
Yes, of course. Whether you are new here or have been with us for a while, we thank you.
So you can join the Facebook group at Info on the Go.
Share with us your show ideas,
Or if you would like, you can ask us a question or just join the conversation.
right? Follow us wherever you get your podcast.
You can also send us a text using the link in the show notes or leave us a review.
It really does help others find us. You can also email us at
infoonthegopodcast@gmail.com. Till next time.
stay curious. William, I know how you love matcha tea with coconut milk.
Yeah, it's clean energy without a crash.
Then you'll love Mantra Matcha. They offer super premium ceremonial matcha and 6 superfood infused flavors made from the finest, youngest tea leaves for a naturally sweet, ultra smooth taste.
With each flavor, it's infused with powerful superfoods like cacao, ginger, and goji berries. And they also have those classic favorites like banana cacao, strawberry lemon, cinnamon goji berry, plus superfood berry, ginger beet, and rosehip dragon fruit. It's organic, non GMO, gluten free with 0 grams of sugar. You can enjoy it like me, or maybe hot or in a smoothie like Cat. Every purchase helps provide meals to kids through No Kid Hungry.
It's at mantramatcha.com. Get 15% off using our code INFOGO at checkout. Both links are in the show notes.
Hey, everybody, we want to tell you about strong coffee. Every morning it starts with a choice. You can settle for just coffee, or you can rise up with strong coffee. And it's the world's strongest cup of joe. Strong isn't just a drink, it's a movement. It stands for striving to reach our natural greatness.
It's born from one simple need: to be better. They rebuilt coffee from the ground up, infusing organic coffee with collagen, protein, nootropics, and functional ingredients that fuel your body and sharpen your mind. No crash, no compromises, just clean energy, focus, and flavor that fires you up.
Yeah, so whether you're chasing kids, chasing goals, or chasing greatness, don't just do it with coffee, do it with strong coffee. And our listeners can save 20% off just by using our code INFOGO at checkout. Hey, if you're looking for your favorite band or sports team or TV show, check out Old Glory. They've been in operation since 1969 and they have over 300,000 items. They have from the Beatles all the way to Metallica, NFL, NBA. It really doesn't matter what you're looking for. They have tees, hoodies, hats, gifts, everything a true fan could ever want. And it's family owned and operated. They have fast shipping, free standard delivery on every order. And you know what? Our listeners get a 15% off at checkout using our code INFOGO. You can find the link in the show notes.